the mission of that organization is really to honor and cherish the traditional people of the world and the traditional cosmologies, and to help the communities transition better, in a better way, into this new world. What we call the new world is the world of the material, and it's the inevitable. So our first project in that vein is called Dear Kichai, Dear Sweet Child. And last year, through a sister association, we were working in a public school in the Sacred Valley of Peru, below Cusco. And the children that were coming to this school were coming from high Indian communities. I don't know if you've been to Peru. Concha Concha is one of them. And they would walk down to get this education. And 3 hours, 2, 3, 4, and there's other children that walk much farther. And instead of going home every day, to get this education that teaches to a test that the same children in Miraflores take, that has really very little relevance, if any relevance, to their lives. They would sleep in abandoned buildings, or they would actually sleep with other community members, but in order to earn their bed or whatever they were offered, they had to do hard labor after school. And so when we found out about this, we wanted to deal immediately with this and creating a dorm for the kids. We have siblings that are responsible for their younger brother or sister, and in that responsibility, unfortunately, they can't keep them safe, they can't keep them warm, and they can't get them the proper nutrition, which is a huge responsibility for the older siblings. So we are opening the 30th, the first dorm, which we rented a house, we've made bunk beds, we have amazing people, but what we want and what we have created is a relationship to the parents, to the grandparents. So these kids are coming down the mountain to get this education. They're staying there Monday to Friday. They're considered the lowest performing kids because they teach the test and their test scores aren't happening. And there's a lot of frustration. And the principal has told us he just loves these children. They navigate the world, and he said with the corazon, with their hearts. And so they're not learning in the school. And now what they're doing is they're not learning from their grandmothers. And their grandmothers are the keepers of the cosmology. And what we've asked is that in order for these kids to be part of the dorm, we want to bring in their grandmothers, we want to bring their fathers, we want to bring the grandfathers, and we want to make them part of the dorm, not just in terms of maintenance, but we want to encourage them to teach their cosmology, to teach their weavings, to tell their stories, and to really be involved in the education of their children and to keep that passion alive. I was up in Carroll community with Vilma, and that's not her community, but we have built some schools up in that area, and I was able to walk into the classroom and tell those children, guess what? And these are, stone classrooms. I said, I am bringing her to the United States, and she's going to be doing Despacho, and we have people coming, and they really want to be part of this ceremony. Thank you for being born here. Being born into this tradition, because we need it, and we have people coming. We had 90 people at our first event, people that had never participated in Despacho, 90% of the people. It's extraordinary, because when we step into ceremony, we step out of time and space, and when we step out of time and space, the intellect can't grasp it, so what do we have to see with? We see with our heart. And so I'm very grateful and very honored to have Wilma and Wilson here, as well as to be in this studio space. Carol is a very, very good friend of mine. I met Rich a couple of years ago, and I'm so grateful that they opened up this space to all of us. John Rasmussen, many of you know, he's this angel that has connected so many people, not only in California to our events, but really across the United States, and people are following this as well in other countries. And we're here together, and we need to be together to get this thing. And and to understand we can't speak it sometimes, and I'm having a hard time tonight speaking it, but there's that other way of knowing, that way of knowing that is 100% correct every single time we come from that place of knowing, and yet we still doubt it, and we go to that other place that might be 80% at best. And so how we can get permission again to navigate that world, this world from that place. And I think that's all I'm going to say. John is going to talk about the cosmology. It's beautiful to see your mesas here. And I want to thank you all for your unconditional love and for helping me to heal and to open my heart, I hope.
If any of you have mesas or something that you would like to bless, you can put up here by this bundle. The other mesas.
Okay, thank you so much, everybody, for coming. You're our sisters and brothers. We are all coming together equally as equals, and this ceremony is so powerful that, I know you're going to feel it, but this is a tremendous opportunity for us all. And I want to introduce you, it's my great, great honor as well, to introduce you to our sister and brother here, Vilma and Wilson. And also from the same family, Pinedo, family that I've known. I've been blessed to know for going on 13 plus years now since I started my training in Peru as a shaman, and these are my great teachers as well, and these are both considered curanderos from their village, Wasao, and shamans. And a little bit about both of them. I know you read a little bit in the flyer, but Vilma herself was the older sister here in the family. She was her mother was struck by lightning while Vilma was in the womb. Pretty unique situation. Lightning, Ilyapa, is one of the powerful forces of nature in this cosmology, in the traditions of the Peruvian shamans, that is used to initiate, used to bring us into harmony, into ayani, into relationship with all of the healers and the lineages that have come before, to build upon their experiences, their knowledge, to take it beyond where it's been before. And Vilma's mother's there were two heartbeats. They thought there was going to be twins, for real. And then Vilma was born, and there was no other twin. So pretty powerful. And then Vilma also had an experience at age 12. She was very eager to go to her father's village, Pakopata, which is translated the place of the shamans, literally. And it's a very high village, really long distance, high in the Andes, very difficult to get to. Well, 20 hours total to get to this, both riding and then walking. And her father wasn't ready to let her go there, but her auntie did agree to take her. And so they were all walking along the high plains, and there was this great rumbling that started, and this noise, and Vilma thought this was a truck or something that was coming, and she turned around. Everybody started to scatter and run. Hide, everybody hide. And all of a sudden there was this big wind, and Vilma turns around. She's now standing there alone as this 12-year-old girl, and the giant condors had come. And they are tribes as well. The condors are people, and they have a leader, and the great leader of that tribe named Apuchin, which means bringing the mountain, literally is right there hovering over her and in front of her. And she looked in the eyes, and the eyes looked, and I've seen this myself, they look at you and you feel it. And it was an initiation into the condor lineage, which her father and grandparents were already part of. And so this was the initiation as the condor shaman. And so that's there's something I wanted to share. And Wilson as well, as he was growing up, the way they would teach the children, probably to make it a little easier, was they would be walking to the villages, and everywhere you had to walk. And they'd say, oh, look at this herb, this is such and such, and it's named this, and it's used for this, and just kind of, casually telling them these things. And little by little, over the years, many years, 3 years, 4 years, 6 years, they would say, what is that herb again? And remember this one? And so on. And then when they had people come to them, like his father had people coming to him all the time to heal them, there would come a time where they would ask Wilson to, oh, please, I can't make it right now. Can you go up into the mountain and get the herbs for this person? They have a little bit of problem breathing, and they have this problem. And then, Wilson would eagerly go up and try to gather the right herbs, occasionally make a mistake, right? But it would be, the memory of what he was inadvertently taught that he would rely on, and that's how they initiated these new healers. And I just thought that was an amazing story. So today we're engaging in a very special ceremony. The whole cosmology, we call it, right, of these people, this tradition, is so rich. We've all, been to many different places in the world, and we've learned about a lot of different types of healing, and it's all quite universal. And this one is so rich, it's so complete, that it covers, there's a relationship with nature that is so complete among these people, this tribe, that when you engage with it the way that we're going to today, the power is full, it's complete. You're about to engage in a ceremony, in a ritual. There's no stone unturned, there's nothing left out. And this is called an Aini Despacho. And Aini, there's 200 different kinds of Despacho, these ceremonies. But the Aini Despacho is the main one where we come into relationship. Aini means relationship, balance, right relationship with ourselves, with nature, of which we are completely a part of. We're not separate of it at all, ever. Even in a high-rise building, we are standing on the earth. The girders and the beams are still earth, And so to be in relationship with nature in an unconditional way is what this is all about. That there's no condition placed upon you by Father, Son, Mother Earth, the stars. We're the only ones that have ever come up with conditions. Oh, I can only have my prayers answered if I do this, this, and this, or if I'm this good or not this good, or whatever. In this ceremony, none of that matters. There's no hierarchy. We are all absolutely brothers and sisters coming together, combining all of our prayers and our gifts into this gift to the earth, to the Mother Earth. This is a despacho, which is like a dispatch. If you think about it, it's a gift where we bring all the different types of grains and flowers and elements and symbols and images, again, complete about everything from our lives. We're making an offering. And this, in addition to this offering, we're adding our prayers, specific prayers, into what's called a kintu. It's 3 leaves, typically coca leaves, powerful plant, and a couple of petals of flowers, white and red, which represent the masculine and the feminine, right? Oh, yeah, do you want to start passing? So the idea here is that this is an opportunity to be with prayer, whatever you want to call it. We are adding our gratitude as we pray for something that has already happened. Sorry. Yeah, okay. 6 leaves. So when this is being passed around, please take 6 of these individual leaves that we use for the kintu. Each kintu has 3 each that will be together. And this represents the 3 worlds, upper world, middle world, lower world, or the superconscious, conscious, subconscious, the Trinity. There's so many ways. Our action, our love, our thoughts, all of this is to come into perfect alignment.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening, brothers and sisters. My name is Vilma Pinedo. I'm very happy to share this medicine with my brothers and sisters. I come from a long lineage of curanderos, from my mother's side, even from my father's side. From my mother's side, Maria Candelaria, her name. Her father and her mother, lineage both curanderos. Papa side, Martin Pinedo, my father. His father and his mother's side, both lineage curanderos. Maybe it's like a coincidence, or maybe it's because of made by the destiny to meet together and continue being in service with Pachamama. So the results we are. And since we were a child, always we grew up surrounded by our elders. Some of them, they became famous. Sometimes we don't want to, because it's a big responsibility. This part of being curanderos, it's like a big step in the life that a person has to take. Be responsible with themselves. So the promise from our elders always was, don't forget where you come from, and don't forget who you are. And always keep awake or keep alive the seeds that you have in your heart. So this path means for us the seeds that every person we have. We are like the plants. We represent like the plants, different kind of seeds. Happy to share with you in this beautiful ceremony, in the Despacho. Later, my brother John will explain you what it means. With your permission, we're gonna start. Also, my brother will introduce himself and will call the 4 directions. Because every people, we don't come only from one side, from one direction. From different direction we come, from the 4 corners, he's gonna call.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. So, in fact, I'm Vilma's brother, believe me or not. So, I'm Wilson Pinedo, and I come to city from Guasao, our town, from Cusco. If you are not familiar with Cusco, it's located in Peru. And Cusco with this Spanish accent, but in fact in Quechua it has different accent. It's like Cusco. And if you want to listen a little bit about Quechua, I can also talk a little bit in Quechua.
Yes.
Huequepanaykuna Cuscomanta no Pachayamchani, Tanpunapa, Kay Suma Jaiwarikui Tamastreneo. Sumak yamunay munaya kasakunantispa. Amachanana kuspa. Amampachana kuspa. Kay Pachamanchispi, entitaida inchiswan. Kijamanchiswan. Chaskakunaon ima. Huete payansknama. Sumak kasakunantispa. Ainiti kianantispa. Hey you, brothers and sisters. I come from Cusco area. I'm here because of the Mother Earth. I'm here because our Father Sun and our Mother Moon. I'm here because your brothers and your sisters, the Star Nation, they allow us to be here with you in this moment, sharing at least this small offering that we use to practice in our towns. Again, my town called Wasao. And we are attached to one sacred mountain called Apu Pachatusan. So we consider him really sacred and important, and besides that, the powerful Apu. Always they come true. So thanks to them, to our Apus, our sacred places, we can find peace, we can find harmony that sometimes we need in our every single day of our lives. And that's why we are here, at least, to show you and share with you a little bit a piece of this despacho, bringing this medicine from the south to you, our brothers, our sisters, because we are living in one world called Earth. And in my language, the Quechua language, it's Pachamama. So which means we are living in one piece of earth, and we must be brothers and sisters until the end. As a family, living in a good relationship in an island. I don't wanna just keep talking, and thank you again to be with us today, in this moment, in this time. And thank you to all your ancestors and all your lineage that allows you also to be here, because something was calling you as well. And again, thank you to all of you. With your permission,
Tuku ya pukunapa, mai pindraga muntikis, mai pinkakantikis. Hampu muntikis. Uyiri wai kukalpancho ai ke punche, dike wai ke panas kunawa. Sumak ya munai ya kausen kunapa. Mai pintraga muntikis, mai pinkasantikis, amahina ke ticho. Hampu muntia, apu chankuna. Hampu muntikis, amahina ke ticho. Hampu muntikis, mai pintraga muntikis, mai pinkasantikis. Hampu muntikis. Hinayata, chinchesio pukuna, mai pintra kamunkitis, mai pinkasan kitis. Hampu muitis. Uya iwai ko kalpaso ke punchai, suma ya munai ya kausa kunam chis pa sama hina kai chis cho. Kuno mane kuna kan kas kapu kuna apis. Hampu muitis kuna mai pintra kamunkitis, mai pinkasan kitis. Hampu muitis. Uya iwai ko kalpaso ke punchai, hampu muitis ama hina kai chis cho. Hinayata, antisio pukuna, mai pintra kamunkitis, mai pinkasan kitis. Muitis. Uya igual tu kalpan tu ay kunjai sumak ya munai ya kausa Francis partai wai kai semua. Hampu muitis, amatna kai chicho. Roa kono mo mani kuna. Pas papu kuna. Hampu muitis. Uya igual kalpan tu ay mani kai chicho. Hampu dekela. Kolya suya pukuna mai pintra kamunkitis, mai pinkasan kitis. Hampu muitis. Uya riwayat ko kalpantoy te punchai ki sumak ya munai maya kausa Francis partai kai semua hampu muitia. Roa kono mo mani kuna kan kas papu kuna. Hinayata kontisu ya pukuna, mai pintra kamunkitis, mai pinkasan kitis, hampu muitis. Oyeri wai kuchkal panchawai chiskai punchaipi. Sumak yamuna mulia causa con chispas kai kunawan kai panes kunawan amahina kachichu hampu muichis. Hampu ide lei. Kuno manikuna. Son kasta kunawa. Hampu mulia. Inti taita mama kia asakuna, askarunakuna. Hampu muichis. Kacing cai kata cai hatunga marosi warkente hampu mulia. Mai pentra kemunti mai pinti santi hampu muichis. Sumuk pacama, paina pacama nusta, hampungan pacama manjaya. Oyeri waya kal bantu bantu hatunga kali hampu manjaya mai pintra kemunti mai pintra kemunti manjaya. Oyeri waya ku kal pancawi ke watan sukunama, ke kena sukunama. Hampu manjaya mahina kali. Sumak ya muna kausa Francis. Oyeri waya ku manjaya kuna. Kai kuna hampu muichis tentu hampu dete mahina kali cikai. Rupi aku kuna hampu muichis. Saltante ya po sangat ya po pacatutan hampu muichis kuna hampu makuna. Mai pintra kemunti mai pintra kemunti hampu muichis. Apo pitutire sa wasiri apo chikong kumawang kumasili lingi maki hampu muichis linchiling hampu muichis. Oyeri waya kal pancho machu picchu waya na picchu. Mandru putupuchi biskachani hampu muichis. Hampu muichis. Apo wamani pa pokone waya turuni hampu muichis. Kata kochi sila patakan tukoy patakana hampu muichis. Hatung waya hampu muichis. Mama kina mai pintra kemunti hampu muichis. Oyeri waya kal pancho waya muichis. Mai pintra kemunti mai pintra kemunti. Oyeri waya kal pancho muichis. Hampu muichis. Kung kaspat hampu muichis. Kinata sumak pacam muichis hampu muichis. Oyeri waya kal pancho muichis.
So for the kintus that we're preparing, these little bundles that we will be using our breath to move our intentions. The first one would be, for example, something that we want to bring into our life. So the feeling of gratitude for a quality, a character, something that will, make your life better, that for yourself and for everyone around you in balance. And you just blow it into the other one. The second one, what was the second one? Yeah. Yeah, so the second one with the seeds is like, what seeds do you want to plant, essentially, for the future, for our children's children? So think of like one is really for something going on in your life now that you want to transform, that you want to either let go of or bring in. And then the second one is this seed planting for the next, for the future, which is not only our children's children, but ourselves. We come back to this earth, and we want it to be better, right? We want to evolve, we want everything to be more healthy, sustainable, peaceful, in harmony. So that's the idea. Yeah, you can begin each of those kintus in any way, anything you think of, just keep adding to it, flow into it. It's your prayer, yeah. And there's always one kintu added at the very end for all the things we'll think of 2 weeks from now that we wish we had put in today. And it's retroactive. That's thankfully the job of Vilma Wilson to cover us that way. one of the ways that's easy to work with once you get one done is you can put it between your fingers to hold it, so you have your, kind of at the base of your fingers towards your knuckles, and then you have the ability to work with the other one while you're holding this one if you need to.
Do we alternate? Is it just like one at a time, or?
Oh, you can alternate if you think of something. You can keep floating
okay.
to one.
Okay.
What about the seeds? What do you do with the seeds?
The seeds will when we bring the kintus up, you can also place the seed. So for now, just hold on. But the breath, kamayok in Quechua, the power of the breath is key. When you notice Wilson opening space, he was blowing in each direction, the cleansing, the intention. And so we move information and energy with our breath. This Lama fat is one of the sort of like the gold of their tradition. The Lama is what sustains a lot of these villages at high altitudes. And the fat is taken from right around the heart. The fat that's around the heart of the Lama. So it represents that love, the basis of everything, the love that holds all of this together, that holds all of us together.
Put your garbanzos into the despacho and hand your quintus to Wilson or to Vilma, and they will use those quintus on your body to bless you and to cleanse you, and then to take your beautiful offerings that you're offering into the quintus right now, and they will put them where they feel they need to go into the despacho.
The way that they greet each other is not like we do, like, hey, how you doing? Typically, it's Aiyanshu, which means how does your village live within you? And Aiyami, my village lives well within me, would be the good answer. And this speaks to the relationship aspect. It speaks to the idea that, your life can be pretty well dialed in. Your prayers can be answered. You could be giving your gifts to the world and having them received and healthy and experiencing love and abundance and so on. But ultimately, that's only going to get you so far, right? You begin to look around and notice how's everyone else doing. And so it's that generosity of spirit that is just core to the way that what I like to call the natural humans live. Because we've been a little bit out of that for a while, several thousand years in a lot of places. So, include that in your prayers, if you would, how your village is living within you. Earlier today, Vilma and I were talking about hummingbirds. One of the main animals in the four directions that Wilson was calling on in Quechua, but it's the serpent, the jaguar, the hummingbird, and the Congo, or the eagle. And each of those have characteristics and instincts, medicine that help us in the world. That in fact, even hold the world together, the groundedness and the shedding of our wounds that the serpent represents, and the power and the sensitivity of the jaguar and the hummingbird. The eagle is the broad vision, visionary, non-judgment. And the hummingbird is doing the impossible and drinking nectar all along the way. Because they're not even built to fly, and they fly 10,000 miles. And so I just was thinking that, when we put our prayers, right, the one thing that tends to happen, at least in my past experience, is I really want this, I want peace in the world, or I want to be able to do this or do that. And then there's that little part that goes, but is it really possible? Can I really get it? I don't know, But the hummingbird teaches us that while there are physical limitations, obviously, that come up in the world, there's no limit to our experience. So when you're asking for something that's specific in terms of maybe health, for example, you want to become healthier, for example, that might be a specific thing that you're thinking of, my back or this or that. But what you're really asking for is the experience that gives you. So for example, comfort in my body, energy to do what I want to do, functionality. And so it's not necessary that we know specifically how that's going to happen, because there's a part of us that might think, well, that's impossible. I never got rid of my sore back, for example. But the experience is not impossible. You don't know how, but at some point after praying, the thing that you were praying for has an experience at its core, and that's what's going to come true. That's what's going to happen. It may not be in the way that you thought it was going to happen, a particular form or mechanism, but the actual experience. So anytime we do these prayers, that's what I've always found to happen. I've always gotten the experience that I asked for. I want you to know that so that your mind, like Louisa said, can just get out of the way. It's very limited, right, into how much things can happen.
If you've been in the Andes, you know that you can walk up through the clouds and go live above the clouds. And the red is the color of the feminine, the Pachamama, the blood of the mother, the river, the water. And the white is the masculine. You have those snow-capped mountains reaching up through the clouds. Wilson saying, Hampwe, come, calling on the spirit of the mountain, calling on his ancestors, calling on our ancestors. Who we are as spirit, come, assist us. The coca is a sacred plant, comes from the jungle, but the communities in the high Andes, they live on this vertical plane, and they might live and have their homes at 12,000, 14,000 feet, but in the morning the women get up at 7 and they bring their alpaca up to 18, 20,000 feet, and maybe in the day they come back, but they go 2 hours down to work in their potato fields and their chakras. So they really live on this vertical plane. So the coca is a very important plant for the people in order to live on that vertical plane, for their sustenance and for their life. It's a beautiful sacred plant. also they use it to offer. When they see each other, they keep the coca and they just offer it to their brothers and sisters. And they start that conversation. So they're balancing the masculine side and the feminine side, the yin and yang. That relationship of when the notion of giving and receiving disappears because it's all the same. It's that symbiotic relationship. She just put the caminos, the roads, and the rainbow, that bridge. When we realize to the spirit cleanse our energy centers, we shine like the rainbow. That is that bridge that we travel across. Chaska, Star Nations, our larger community.
Let's put our hands like that, focusing on this package, on this dispatch, on this offering. I want you to feel all the energy that is in it because of you, because you have created this one. And please, I want you to feel it, to touch it, because of you.
Let it come through your hands into your heart. Feel it in your heart.
All the seeds that every person will planting in our heart. So bring all your intention, give you all your intention and give it to Pachamama. And Pachamama knows how to grow.
And after that, bring it into your heart. And thank you, all of you, to be with us today in this moment, in this time. And I want you to be on your own meditation for a while, for a couple minutes. Meanwhile, I want you to perform a kind of song that we were just creating with our brother John this morning. I
Hope you like it and enjoy it. Feel it.
Be wrapped in this beautiful paper, a gift to Pachamama, and then we're going to go outside and start a fire and participate in burning the Despacho and inviting our ancestors to take our intentions and offer them to the heavens, so to speak.
So the way that the fire brings the prayers You know, because you have the sun in the heavens and you have the earth, you have the Inti Taita, Father Sun, the sun behind the sun, the source, and the Mother Earth. And the Mother Earth mulches things, right? It takes your heavy energies, your waste, it mulches it, it turns it into new food for us, new life. And the sun, the fire of the sun is what feeds all of that, right? All of life here. And what I like to think about when the wood is burning in the fire pit, that little sapling, the tree that first came out of the ground, every day since then, the sun that passed overhead wrapped its bands of sunlight around that sapling. Every day. And then when we take that wood and we light it, it's releasing those bands of sunlight. So we have the sun with us at the same time as the earth. And the ashes go into the earth, and the prayers go up to the heavens because of that. And these bundles that he's working with now are what are called a mesa, which is an altar for those of us who have gone through the training and the initiations, the healing journey of the medicine person, the medicine wheel. These represent everything we went through. There's 13 stones in each of those, wrapped in each of those cloths. And those stones represent a part of our healing journey and everything else in there. So we consider them a part of us. They come into every ceremony we come into, and they participate. And they learn and they grow with us. And they heal even further with us. So that's why he's including the mesas now into the despacho. Because it's people, stone people, plants, animals. There is no separation of spirit and matter. Everything is conscious and alive. And we were once stones before single-celled organisms, before plants, and Homo sapiens is not the end. I'm sure there'll be more. So it includes, all of that is included within us. The stones, the plants, everything, the animal.
All right, so now shall we go and set into the fire?
Can get you mesas?
Yeah.
Again, really opposite meanings. And another element of the earth would be water. And we can call, for instance, Mother Ocean or the sea. I can put in a sentence like, me senté a la orilla del mar. Me senté a la orilla del mar. El mar es de color azul. I was just sitting close to the ocean or the sea, and how beautiful it is. But still, the water, the ocean, the great mother, Mama Cocha in my language, has been changed. And with this Spanish language, it's masculine, but for us it's still feminine. And another element, earth, it doesn't need any explanation, I guess, because you already know in my language, I guess. Pachamama, feminine. And in Spanish, they were right. Tierra, la tierra. It's not el tierra, it's la tierra. Just one, just one. But still, come on, Yeah. But in my language, it's completely different.
That's why they call Quechua the language of love.
Yes. It really is. And sometimes this is just as a fact, joke. Sometimes people, they need to be informed. People need to read something in order just to judge people. Because I've been already experienced something strange here in the United States. When I was traveling, they may say, "Oh, you do speak Spanish, you must be Mexican." I was saying, "No, I'm Peruvian," because of the language. But anyhow, I hope those things may change, and people still, they have to be informed. And we have to put this one in the fire, to alchemize all our intentions to the Mama Nina, great mother fire. I always like to share things with people, and this is one of my favorite songs or music. It's called Blue Eyes. Blue Eyes in English, ojos azules in Spanish, am I right? And in my language it would be Ancestral. Thank you for talking, and thank you for joining us in this.
You have taught us with your example of grace.
I want to appreciate
And of course, before you're going, and go and pick up the food, this is the one thing that I like to share, because our elders, nowadays our people, our generation, they are not trusting more in our elders, and they think that our elders are useless. But we should learn from them, because they have a lot of wisdom, and they have many years with them, many experience, and the wisdom are with them. In my language, we never say goodbye. Never, ever. It's not like a ciao. All right, ciao. In English, like a bye-bye. In my language, we always say, until we meet again, tupananchiskam, because sooner or later we will meet again. It doesn't matter if we are going to be alive or not, but for sure we will meet again here or up there with your ancestors walking on the Milky Way. And Tupananchiskama. And the way that our elders, they used to teach us, thank you. It's por pintas un punta palomanta. I may send to you one dove. The dove can just stay on your chest and pick at some flower and put bloom on your heart. That is, thank you very much from our elders to you.
It's an honor.